Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel XAT Turning Problems into Solutions. This is me Priyasha Das and this is the second workshop video in which we are discussing the verbal ability part 1. So under verbal ability in this session we'll be discussing the fill in the blanks, okay, FIB and analogy. These two are the topics which we are going to cover. This topic in turn, like the fill in the blanks, will help you in multiple things like confusing words is one category. Along with it, we also have sentence completion and things like that, close test, and everything will come under the same category. Okay, one of the most asked questions in XAT as well as the other omits as well. So I have been getting multiple requests for SNAP and other exams as well, IIFT. So please make it a point, guys, that there are only 20 to 30% of the paper which is different in these examinations. So try to devote 1 hour each for those special areas and take these up in the major portion of your study so that ये आपको सारे एग्जाम्स में हेल्प करे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्नैप के लिए आप लोग रोज 1 घंटा नॉर्मल लॉजिकल रीजनिंग के लिए प्रैक्टिस के लिए रख सकते हैं. दैट विल बी मोर देन इनफ फॉर यू. सो कमिंग बैक टू द सेशन ओवर हियर, we are going to get started with analogy. So analogy का logical relation के साथ बहुत अच्छा relation, I mean logical reasoning के साथ काफी related है. Actually ये analogy chapter verbal reasoning और logical reasoning दोनों में equally आती है, and इसीलिए शायद ये बहुत important है ZAT के लिए, क्योंकि अगर आपने ZAT का section का नाम पढ़ा होगा तो that is VALR. That means verbal ability with logical reasoning. So analogy is a favorite section of theirs. Okay. So let us understand what we have to do. It's actually a test of vocabulary in a smaller sense, okay? But if we talk about a broader sense, then they want to see how well you can connect the relationship between the given pair of words. So basically, ये जो part आपको दिख रहा है इस question में, this is the sample over here. So this sample is given to you to find out the logic. आपको यहाँ से logic को find करना है. And once you get the logic, you have to apply the logic over here in your real question. That is the general theme by which you solve any analogy question, चाहे वो English से related हो, GK से related हो, Math से related हो, किसी भी topic से related हो. यहाँ पर हम लोग specifically verbal ability से related analogy ही करेंगे. When I'll be conducting a special session on SNAP LR, then उसमें I will be telling you in detail about the other types of analogies. So over here, what we see is truth is to falsehood. From here, you have to determine the relationship which is given to you in the first case. We can understand that truth and falsehood are clear antonyms over here. Exactly opposite जा रहा है. तो अगर हमें इस sample से पता चला कि हमने opposite या antonyms word खोजने हैं, तो हम लोग भी ये कोशिश करेंगे कि हम लोग virtue का opposite खोजें. As I said in the beginning, that in a narrow sense, it is the test of our vocabulary. So if you don't know the meaning of virtue, तब तो आप फंसोगे. But yes, in a broader sense, आप option elimination करके भी थोड़ा guess मार के इस आंसर को correct दे सकते हो. Let's see how we will be doing this. Like see, virtue is good, okay, and goodness is a synonym here. Similarly, altruism is in a positive sense, and veracity is also in a positive sense. So we are left with only one word, which is vice, which is the opposite, virtue and vice. Okay, एक simple example था just to tell you how to grab the pattern. You have to first find out the logic from the sample, number one, and number two, then apply the same logic to the real question given to you. But सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात हम अभी करने वाले हैं डिस्कस, वो है सम कॉमन रिलेशनशिप्स. इस रिलेशनशिप के बाहर बहुत मुश्किल से आपको क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे, ओके, रेयर केस में. सो वी हैव सम कॉमन रिलेशनशिप्स ओवर हियर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द एनालॉजी. लेट्स क्विकली हैव अ लुक ओवर इट. द फर्स्ट वन इज कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप. फॉर एग्जांपल लिक्वर एंड इंटॉक्सिकेशन. वी नो दैट लिक्वर ड्रिंक करने से इंटॉक्सिकेशन होता है. So this is the cause and this is the effect, and this kind of a relationship is called cause and effect. So जब भी आपको कोई ऐसा word दिखे तो उसमें से आप कोई इनमें से कोई एक established relationship को खोजने की कोशिश करना. All right. Moving next, object and purpose is another kind of a relationship. Object of the cork is to close the bottle. So this is the object and this is its purpose, to close the bottle. So that kind of a relationship is also being asked in general questions. Part and whole. That means a book is a part of literature. So you can say that a shred is a part of pottery. टूटे हुए broken piece of pottery को हम shred कहते हैं. So a part and the whole is another relationship we have. Object and action. तो gun को हम कैसे चलाते हैं? We fire a gun. So this is the object and this is the action we do with the gun. Okay, that's object action relationship. Similarly, we have a fifth relationship which is action and object. Okay, which can be a phenomena also. For example, हम लोग खाना को खाते हैं, right? So eat is the action we are doing here. And what do we eat? We eat food. So this is my object or my phenomena. So that's action to object relationship. Then the most general, जो हम सबको I think बचपन से पता है, the relations which we see in the analogy questions, synonyms and antonyms, मुझे नहीं लगता मुझे इसे explain करने की जरूरत है. I have just kept this जानबूझ के. I want you people to tell me the meaning if you already know the meaning of circumlocution or brevity, anything like that. अगर पता है तो comment करके जरूर बताना. And अगर नहीं पता है तो सुन लो that circumlocution is actually the indirect way of talking in a very long and lengthy manner. यानी घुमा फिरा कर बात करने को हम लोग circumlocution कहते हैं. Similarly, brevity is being a very brief sentence. एकदम कम में to the point bolna is brevity. So these are again related to each other as antonyms. Now the eighth relation is defining the characters. Like we generally call jackal as having a sly character. थोड़ा slyish होते हैं, वो थोड़ा clever होते हैं, चालाक होते हैं. Similarly, if we go to the ninth category, which is class and member, well, we all know that man is a mammal or man comes under the class of mammal. So this can again be one of the relations. Similarly, now म्यूटेटेड म्यूटेटेड का मतलब है चेंज्ड या फिर कह सकते हो आप थोड़ा सा ज्यादा adjusted. So mutated synonyms and mutated antonyms का मतलब है भले ही ये words आपके direct synonyms या direct antonyms नहीं है but कहीं ना कहीं related है. Let's say for example we have churlish and rudeness. The exact synonym of churlish is boorish, rude, insolent, but the mutated synonyms can be rudeness, okay, which is in the form of a noun or a you can say adjective or something. So ये कहीं ना कहीं indirectly related है. This is what we need to know here. Indirectly related. Okay. Same is the case with the mutated antonyms also. If you talk about cessation, the exact or the proper antonym for cessation would be renewal, which is a noun. But here you can see that we are using it as resume, which is a verb. So भले ही ये पार्ट्स ऑफ स्पीच मैच नहीं कर रहे बट स्टिल कहीं ना कहीं सेंस बना रहे हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज म्यूटेटेड एंटोनिम्स. और ये बताना बहुत जरूरी था क्योंकि बहुत लोग है प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, या तो आप बहुत पढ़ लेते हो या तो आप बिल्कुल नहीं पढ़ते. व्हेन आप बहुत पढ़ चुके हो ना ऑलरेडी, देन यू आर नॉट ready to accept the answers from others. ये प्रॉब्लम सब में आती है. So that's why I want you to tell you that ये आके मत बोलना कि एक वर्ब है और एक एडजेक्टिव है तो उनका कोई मेल नहीं हो सकता. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. They will try to test you from every way possible. Okay. Now let's go to the next category, manner and activity. Now in manner and activity, ramble is speaking in a very coherent manner. यानी तोड़ फोड़ कर बात करना या फिर बात करते करते किसी और टॉपिक पे चले जाना. That is called as ramble. So ramble is a type of speak, a manner of speaking. So this is one category. Then we have another one which is action and significance. So blush is what? Blush signifies embarrassment. आप कब blush करते हो? जब आप थोड़ा embarrass हो जाते हो किसी भी चीज को लेके, positive या negative. Okay, so that is action and significance. Similarly, worker and creation. So music is composed by the composer. So there's a relationship here between worker and creation. If I move to the next category, which is the workplace of the worker. So the main workplace of the priest is the chapel, right? The church here in the sense. And then we have spatial separation. Now this is something GK related. So Ladakh and Kanyakumari के बारे में तो आपको पता ही है, extreme north and extreme south. So इस तरह की spatial separations भी आपके question में दिए जा सकते हैं. Symbol and quality. For example, white symbolizes peace. So that's how you're supposed to make relations between two words. ये भी एक commonly asked question है. Degree is very easy question, but yeah, it contains some things to be to be noted, like सिमर टू बॉयल, सो डोंट टेल मी दैट यू डोंट नो द मीनिंग ऑफ सिमर। आपको मम्मा ने कभी ना कभी तो घर पे बोला ही होगा कि जाकर तू उसे थोड़ा सिम कर दो। सिम कर दो यानी कि स्लो कर दो, राइट? सो बॉयल इज अ हायर डिग्री देन सिमर, सिमिलरली कोल्ड इज अ हायर डिग्री देन कूल, एंड दैट्स हाउ वी डू दीज थिंग्स। तो मैंने आपको 18 कॉमन रिलेशनशिप्स बता दी है विच आई वांट यू टू नोट डाउन, ताकि जब भी आपको एनालॉजी का क्वेश्चन देखो तो एक फ्लैश आए आपके दिमाग में and ये सारे 18 सेट्स आपके आंख के सामने घूमने लगे। ऑलराइट, इससे आपका बहुत ज्यादा फायदा होगा बिकॉज इट विल बी वेरी वेरी फास्ट फॉर यू टू सॉल्व दीज क्वेश्चंस एंड गिव दी real time to some difficult questions. Okay, now there are some strategies to tackle the analogy. The ones which I've named here is identify the link, which I talked already about the finding of the logic. Paraphrasing the relationship is actually a part of finding the logic only. Once you get the words, now what you would be trying to do is you would try to express the relationship in your own words, in the fewest possible words. And when you do that, you come across a standard answer, and then you will go and check the options. Once you check the options, you can eliminate the weak options clearly from there, and that's how you do it. Let's take a quick example and see how we can use these strategies which we discussed right now. Tachyturn is to speech. So my first task is to identify the link. In order to identify the relationship, I would like to know the meaning of at least one of the words given here. So tachyturn means uncommunicative, or one who generally prefers to stay silent. Okay. Now speech in for the other hand is used for communication. So if we check it carefully, I know while defining a relationship, साइलेंट का स्पीच से कोई खास डायरेक्ट रिलेशन मतलब मैनर वाइज भी हो सकता है एंड ऑपोजिट वाइज भी हो सकता है. नाउ व्हाइल डिफाइनिंग, इन ऑर्डर टू अवॉइड गेटिंग इनटू द ट्रैप, what I would be doing is I would exactly try to establish it in my own words. So how will I do it? For example, मैं ये कैसे करने वाली हूँ? To be taciturn, मुझे बहुत कम बोलना है. To be taciturn, I'll be using very little speech. A taciturn person is disinclined towards speech. इस तरह के relations मैं अपने दिमाग में खुद बनाऊंगी. This is step number 2, that is defining the relationship. And lastly, what I'll do, come to the options and I'll eliminate the incorrect options by substituting the words, okay, of each option in a defined statement. अगर suppose आपको words के meaning नहीं पता है तो हम इसे एक statement में बना के करेंगे. For example, check this, okay. Abstruse to irony. To abstruse is to use very little irony. बहुत कम irony use करने वाले लोगों को हम बोलते हैं कि वो abstruse की तरह बात करता है. Something that cannot be understood is also what you called as abstruse, okay, incomprehensible. So over here, do you think it will make any sense here? No, because why? It is to convey the opposite meaning here. So therefore, we will not go with this option. Credible is to reason. Now, to be credible, do we need to use a very little reason? Well, it's not true. Why? Because credible means believable. So आपको उसमें reason की जरूरत है. So what am I doing? I'm trying to put it in the statement. Like to be ambiguous, I have to use very little nature. Now, does it make sense? Again, ambiguous means uncertain and lacking clarity. So, does it has to do anything with the nature? Absolutely no. So, lastly, we come to Spartan and extravagance. To be Spartan, that is to be very little extravagance. क्या मुझे एक्स्ट्रावेगेंस कम करना चाहिए? बिल्कुल. स्पार्टन मतलब समवन हु लिव्स अ वेरी बेसिक लाइफ, सिंपल लाइफ, एंड एक्स्ट्रावेगेंस यानी लाविशली लाइफ जीने वाले. तो वो अगर कंटेंट हम कम कर दे, ओके, देन हम स्पार्टन कहलाएंगे, एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट द रिलेशनशिप इज आस्किंग अस टू डू इन द रियल क्वेश्चन. So that's how you will be finding out the answers to these type of questions in analogies. Okay, we come to the halt over here because we are done with the analogy part. अब मैं fill in the blanks आपको फटाफट बताऊंगी. So fill in the blanks has been a regular feature of all the management entrance examinations, remember, because इससे आपकी vocabulary test होती है, आपकी linkage skills test होती है. हम ये भी check करते हैं कि how comfortable a student is with vocabulary and how well he possess the reasoning abilities to check कि इस जगह पर ये word compatible है या नहीं. Okay, so different type of fill in the blanks questions can be a single blank question, a double blank question, a closed test paragraph, full paragraph, या one word with multiple meanings. Okay, we'll try to cover up these type of questions. पहला example जो हमें दिख रहा है, this is one word answer. Okay, इसी में आता है confusing word. वर्ड्स भी, तो ऑप्शंस के यूज से हम लोग कंफ्यूजिंग वर्ड्स को भी एलिमिनेट कर देंगे एंड दैट वील सी हाउ वी विल डू इट. ओके. And when it comes to sentence completion, this is yet another part of fill in the blanks only. So if you are good at fill in the blanks or you learn and practice fill in the blanks, this will be more than enough. Okay. Now, let us get started with a question over here. We have a question called as the recent discovery of contrary archaeological evidence. Okay, palimpsest found at Oxyrhynchus. Oh my God, what all these things are? You don't have to pay attention to that. Okay, has led classical scholars of Greek myths to dash the long-held theories about the chronological evolution of Greek plays. सो इस बारे में किस में बात हो रही है? ओके, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. फर्स्ट आप इसे दो पार्ट में डिवाइड कर दो. ठीक है, दिस इज द बेस्ट वे टू डू इट. यू सी देयर इज अ फुल स्टॉप समवेयर, or if not, then there will be a comma somewhere. So there is a comma here. So I'll divide this into two parts. Part one is talking about a discovery, and part two is talking about the effect of that discovery. Now, the relationship between the two parts of the sentence is cause and effect. तो ये हमें analogy से connect कर रहा है. Yes. So by understanding the type of cause, one can understand the type of effect also. In this case, the crux of the effect is the word that best fits into the blank. तो चलिए हम लोग पार्ट वन को थोड़ा एग्जामिन करते हैं. कौन सा वर्ड है जो हमें हेल्प करेगा ऑप्शन को चेंज करने में? ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड दिस वर्ड, कॉन्ट्रारी. Why is contrary highlighted here? Like, why did I highlight it here? The key word here is contrary because contrary means opposite or opposing. And if I go and examine the part 2, which is after the comma, then what is mentioned here? It has led the classical scholars of the Greek myths to do something, long held theories about the chronological evolution of Greek plays. What will be the effect of the discovery of opposing the evidence? क्या हो सकता है? आप सोच के देखो. Will it be strongly weakened or disapproved? क्या current theories को हम लोग और मानना बंद कर देंगे? Yes. The answer option must be a word which should disapprove. Please understand this. Which should disapprove or weaken the current theories. और अगर कुछ ऐसा हम खोजना चाह रहे हैं तो हम ऑप्शंस को बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे. ऑप्शन बी को ध्यान से देखना. ओके, आई जस्ट रोट इट ओवर हियर. एक्चुअली दिस इज रिलेटेड टू दिस क्वेश्चन. ऑप्शन बी को ध्यान से देखना. Bolster and buttress, option C, are actually the words which have the meaning of support or strengthen. तो जैसे मैंने कहा था, test of vocabulary है. So bolster and buttress means strength. Delineate is incorrect. Why? Because it seems, or it means that you have to sketch something out or find out the outline of something जो कि यहाँ पे relevant नहीं है. So we will eliminate these three options. Now we are left with establish or debunk. Debunk means disapprove. यहाँ पर आप अपना एक educated guess लगा सकते हो कि establish करना यानी मानना, एंड वहीं debunk क्योंकि D word है तो हो सकता है ये disapprove या ऐसा कोई negative term हो. So that gives us the answer as option A over here. We will debunk the long हेल्ड थ्योरीज. अब प्लीज ये मुझे मत पूछना कि अगर हमें इस वर्ड का मीनिंग नहीं पता तो हम क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि देखो बॉल्स्टर का मीनिंग अगर नहीं पता और वो किसी सेंटेंस में है तो हम उसे गेस कर सकते हैं, बट अगर वो ऑप्शंस में है तो उसे गेस करना बहुत बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट्स वेरी नेसेसरी फॉर यू टू कीप रीडिंग स्टफ आउट देयर एंड कीप फाइंडिंग आउट द न्यू वर्ड्स मीनिंग्स. See, I will give my level best to give you as many words as possible on Instagram for the vocabulary update, as well as I'll give you PDFs which I have in the Telegram. But to be very honest, again back here, इसीलिए कहा जाता है कि आपकी रीडिंग हैबिट्स होनी चाहिए when you're doing MBA, because the more you read, the more you come across newer words. So इस चीज का ध्यान रखें. Now let's do the second question quickly. ये थोड़ा different point पर है. ये एक point counter point का example है जो मैं आपको question number 2 में देने वाली हूँ. Despite is the word which will help us to understand कि ये point और counter point का example है. Despite constantly being at the receiving end of the critics, dash articles for its triteness, popular art surprisingly continues to dash the audiences and set the cash registers ringing. That means here the sentence clearly has two distinct parts separated by the comma, if you observe. over here, and the presence of the word despite suggests that the two parts have points or informations which run in counter to each other. तो हम लोग पहला पार्ट को थोड़ा ऑब्जर्व करेंगे बिफोर ट्राइटनेस. This part is talking about the critics writing articles for its popular arts triteness. Trite is something which refers to which is boring or uninteresting. Okay, जो काफी बार repeat हो चुका है. Hence, the critics articles will obviously not praise that popular art. So हमें कुछ negative, but will be negative about it. The only word that fits over here can be, okay, if I show you the options, it can be trenchant because अगर again trenchant word का meaning क्या है? It's sharp or cutting. ओके, शार्प और कटिंग. एंड वही इम्पेयरिंग का मतलब क्या है? इम्पेयरिंग का मतलब होता है वीकनिंग. तो मुझे कुछ नेगेटिव चाहिए बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स द क्रिटिक्स वोंट बी टॉकिंग पॉजिटिव, राइट? सो दिस हेल्प्स मी टू एलिमिनेट थ्री ऑप्शंस. इनडिफरेंट, इवोकेटिव और इनटेम्परेट यहाँ नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट be negative towards something. So we will go for B and D. Now we will go to the second part and determine our answer over here. Now the word despite in the first part means that the second part has opposing information. ये बहुत important है जानने के लिए कि ये second part में हमारे पास opposing information होगी. तो अगर opposing information होगी तो हम क्या करेंगे? Audiences are not negative about it क्योंकि first part में वो negative थे, right? So second blank should have a word which is opposite to the meaning of trite, and the word that best fits here can be mesmerized because this receive does not make any sense here. So we'll go with option B, which is mesmerized. So audience mesmerize हो जाएगी positive and critics trenchant हो जाएंगे negative. और ये negative positive क्यों हो रहा है? Because of the word despite. ये बस एक example था to show you what you need to do over here. Okay. Now, in the coming parts, I want you all to go and do it on your own. Okay, that would really be helpful for you all if you do it this way. Okay, let us try some questions, but this time the solutions will be faster. This is an example of complementary. Complementary is where one part is supporting or emphasizing the other idea. For here, one statistic supporting the claim that our culture dash psychological disorders is the dash of the psychotherapy clinics across the country. So this is being supported by the other blank. So हम ऐसा कोई ऑप्शन खोज के निकालेंगे जिसमें दोनों ही ऑप्शंस एक दूसरे के साथ बहुत क्लियरली connected हो. जैसे कि if I take spawns and dwindling, dwindling has a negative term and spawn is a positive term. So option A gone. Engenders and bargaining. Well, this can make a sense over here because if I check the first part is claiming the relationship between the culture and the psychological disorder, and the second part is actually trying to highlight this same idea. So अगर हम ऑप्शन ए को तो एलिमिनेट कर ही चुके हैं, ऑप्शन डी को भी एलिमिनेट कर देते हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज एवोल्यूशन इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू एनी नंबर और क्वांटिटी. ओके, सो वी वुड बी गोइंग अहेड एंड इसको हम लोग तुरंत हटा देंगे. ऑप्शन सी एंड ई को भी हम लोग इजीली एलिमिनेट कर सकते हैं बिकॉज द सेकेंड ब्लैंक आउटग्रोथ एंड मल्टीट्यूड दीज आर एक्चुअली डिनोटिंग इंक्रीजिंग नंबर्स, बट हमें यहाँ पे क्लेम को इनहिबिट करना है, segregate करना है. I mean, it is stopping it out there. So therefore, we will be eliminating this and we are left with one correct answer. Engenders means giving rise to, giving birth to. Okay, तो ये claim हमारे culture को gives rise to this fact. Okay, and burgeoning is showing rapid growth. So now we are very confirmed that दोनों ही positive है and that makes the answer as number B. Okay, for the third question. Now, for the fourth question, everyone, please focus. Number fourth question is an example of one blank. Okay, one blank. If you see here, what you have to do, given the fatuous debate, the bill has evoked both the Senate as well as in the media. It will not be dashed to assume that it will not be passed. Not be, not be. तो इस केस में हमें क्या करना है? We need to know that the relationship between the two parts of the sentences, here you see, is cause and effect. Okay, because the first one is a cause, the second one is an effect. So it's logical to assume that it is same as it is not logical to assume. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because you have to assume an answer here. ये इसमें आप assumptions के basis पे भी आराम से खेल सकते हो. Okay, what we will be doing over here is you will try to find out the relation. The clue here in the phrase is given that. Okay, So you will have to find out the relation straightforward using that. Hmm? If I say this, so please try and understand over here. Answer option should be closest in meaning to illogical, because it will be illogical to assume this thing that it will not be passed. ठीक है, नॉट है तो मैं illogical ले रही हूँ, लॉजिकल नहीं. तो कौन सा ऑप्शन है आपको लगता है which will go closest to illogical over here? The only answer option here would be far fetched, because far fetched का मतलब होता है something which cannot be deduced or something which cannot be imagined. So that's the answer for this question. And the last category, I guess, not the last, but the second last category. So we'll quickly do this one as well. So in this question, if you can see this, you all can try it on your own first. I'll recommend you to do that only. And then we'll have this one is most commonly asked not only in XAT but in the other omits as well, जहां आपको 5 या 4 sentences दिए जाते हैं और हर सेंटेंस में 2 ऑप्शंस रहते हैं, आपको सिलेक्ट करना होता है. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल in this question if you see consequently और subsequently के बीच में आपको डिसाइड करना है what are you going to do. So how would you decide that? Consequently and subsequently. So if you see we reached the event late, इसका consequence ये हुआ कि we missed the opening act. So I know my first answer is A. So I eliminate 1 and 2 आराम से. The second option is A, So A, मैं यहाँ लिख लेती हूँ so that we can cover it in one page. Now look over here. 2 options तो हमने सीधे सीधे खत्म कर दिए. अब मैं टाइम पास नहीं करूंगी. क्यों? Because I know that option 3 and option 4 में ये दो A सेम है और ये लास्ट वाला A सेम है. So the only difference is the third sentence. तो मैं डायरेक्टली थर्ड सेंटेंस को जाकर ही निकालूंगी. दैट्स हाउ यू सेव टाइम यूजिंग द ऑप्शंस एंड मेक ऑप्शंस एज योर फ्रेंड. Okay, so if we check over here, we see it was a historic. Okay, no, that's the fourth one. The lucrative job offer made to my current by my current employers was the principal reason. Okay, so here is the real meaning of principle. So just get to know that the word principle with a PAL will be reflective of the reason here, because this one is a noun. This is the principal of the school and this principle means the primary reason. So जैसे ही मुझे यहाँ पे B मिलता है, I know that C is not my answer and we will go with option 4. So that's how you do these questions and make it much faster to be completed. Now if you check this, this is a close test for all of you. So in this close test also we will try to see कि हम जल्दी जल्दी options को कैसे mark out करेंगे. Okay, because this will really help us to eliminate the options at a faster rate. So let us see what we can do over here. In this case, we have different options. These are four options for everything. So what we are planning to do here is, let us change the color of the pen and come to red. And let's see. Cigarette or beverage commercials are very efficient ways of dash you with desires. Prescribe you? Not really. Okay, so let's see this way. Infect you? Inundating? Instilling you? No. See, look at this. Instilling you with desires? No. Encumbering you with desires? No. So we have our answer for the first one. It infects us. So therefore we will say that the 30th blank will be filled with a A. Now the next one. They are not trying to dash a message, prescribe a message, represent a message, moralize a message, or communicate a message. Well, messages are only communicated. So we get the meaning here as D for 31. Moving further, if they did, they would probably choose a more efficient message than real men smoke a certain brand of cigarette. Such commercials are trying to trigger desires in you, dash your dash mechanism. So something is triggering desires in you. So and dash your dash mechanism. So changing your present mechanism can be that one simple thing which comes to my mind. So changing can be done with the help of flipping, anticipating, pre-attempting, or bypassing. Well, if I cross or change something, it can either be flipping or be bypassing. But I will wait for the 33rd blank also so that मैं ज़्यादा confirm हो जाऊं. For the 33rd blank, dash mechanism, detection mechanism, screening mechanism, yes, because हम लोग अपने screening mechanism की बात करें, which is probably against smoking or consuming the beverages. So screening की बात हो रही है तो हम उसे bypass करेंगे क्योंकि हमारे अंदर की mechanism की बात हो रही है and we are changing it, we are bypassing the current screening mechanism. And they do so very efficiently. Even though you think that a certain brand of sugary beverage is very unhealthy and bad for you, if the commercial is well done, it will dash trigger a desire in you. Means it will definitely trigger a desire in you. So for this, what will you be doing over here? You would be, although it will trigger, no. Maybe it will trigger, no. Notwithstanding, absolutely wrong. It will nonetheless trigger that desire in you. So we got our answers. 30 is A, 31 is D, 32 is D, 33 is B, and the last one is D again. So this is how you make a story in your own mind and start finding out the मोस्ट परफेक्ट आंसर एंड इसमें बिल्कुल परेशान नहीं होना है कि अगर आपको ये लगता भी है कि एक या दो गलत भी हो जाएंगे तो भी आप कंटिन्यू करो because this will help you to fetch more marks than lose. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys, and I'll be coming up with more such videos, but you know the drill. You have to like this video, and if you are new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe as well. But something which is a constant thing for everyone is, of course, sharing this video. So if you're new or old, doesn't matter, share this video in all your groups and available contacts, and I'll be coming up with more such videos. Till then, take care of yourself, and thank you so much. All the best.